true to the core.
Mm-hmm.
Tableau true to the core, TC26. For those who aren't familiar, this is, I would say, one of the better things that Tableau acquired with the Salesforce acquisition was this custom that comes with the Salesforce team of getting the executives on a panel and making them available for the hard questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a listening session by Tableau leadership, and then they'll bring other staff along. So when a question comes up, ideally they can answer it in the moment.
Yep. And I remember when Ryan Ate joined, he went on a giant listening tour. Southern Jones, when he joined, he also went on a big listening tour. So this, I think, is a really positive attribute in general that was acquired from Salesforce.
Yeah.
And of the last 3 years that I've participated, my take on this one was that a lot of ground has been acquired.
Yep.
It seemed like the first two true to the cores were a little bit more tense with the people in the community, expressing real frustration. And this year there were challenging questions, but it wasn't as on edge as in the past.
Yep. Yeah, I think Salesforce / Tableau, like Tableau has found its identity within Salesforce.
Finally,
is the way I would take it.
Yeah.
Which is great. Could have more Tableau t-shirts in the store than
right. All the Tableau t-shirts are Salesforce blue.
Yep. Small nitpicks on an otherwise great conference. I want to start with a question that you asked about Tableau's competitive landscape with Sigma, Power BI, Snowflake, Databricks, all their AI as another part of it, and how I saw how the leadership responded. I'm wondering if you want to describe what you saw.
Yeah, totally. Like I was among the last person to ask the question because I couldn't identify which question was valuable enough to ask, and I don't want to just go and heckle. And at the end, it came to me that this is really the thing, the changing competitive landscape, right? So at last year's True to the Core, big theme was we're being eaten alive by Power BI. What are you doing with Power BI? Microsoft is giving it away for free. And last year was WTF with all the product names that nobody understands what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And so those two things are pretty well resolved. And this year there was some stuff around licensing. So if the confusion around product names seems to now have kind of gone a layer deeper to confusion and frustration around licensing. But to me, it finally dawned on me the question to ask was about the radically expanding competitive landscape, where Tableau is seeing competition now, not just from Golden Analytics, Francois' new venture. There's other groups. Folks have left Tableau and are doing similar things. This kind of a cursor for data concept is lots of new startups on the field. Sigma, of course, has some legs under them. They've been around for a while. But also Tableau's partners, Snowflake, Databricks, Anthropic, all of these companies with which Tableau has existing partnerships are also doing the co-opetition game and releasing new features that are really trying to edge into Tableau's space.
And in their response to it, I'm just looking at my notes here. Like Southern Jones said, he loves the competition. It's exciting. BI 5 years ago was boring.
Right? Like they kind of owned the space.
Yeah. And he said we're going to have a lot of frenemies, meaning competition, but it also means that the market is bigger. And that his thought was that the winner is going to be the one that works best with everyone. And to me, given what we talked about in our pre-TC video and where we're at, like that question of how open is Tableau going to be,
right?
And where he thinks that his view of what that is exactly what we wanted to hear.
Right, totally. He's seeing that openness and extensibility as a real competitive advantage, which is, this has been a concern for us, is like how open is it going to be? and Souther just was like all in on this is our strength, because if you rely, for example, on a certain narrow window with which you can access a competitor's platform, for example, you have to program in DAX, or you have to run on the Azure platform. Any of the competitors that have this kind of narrow entry point are not going to be able to compete with Tableau, he said, in the Frankenstein that it is, that just lets you get at any data, anywhere, any way, and in that extensible, flexible way.
Yep. Yeah, and then Mark Recker's response. He said the competitive landscape doesn't frighten the leadership, it inspires us, and that they have an amazing opportunity ahead of them at Tableau that they are relishing right now.
Right.
And there was a piece of also of wanting to be the most customer obsessed and the most community obsessed, and really calling out the strength of the Tableau community as an asset for Tableau that none of the other tools really have.
Right. And that one for me fell a little bit like on, I don't know how to describe my ears, but I wasn't all in on the Tableau community kind of bait and hook that I have been in the past, just for me personally. Thinking back to the conversation with Ashley Howard Neville yesterday, she described Tableau was a platform for which the community itself was the product. And I see real damage having been done to the community with the Salesforce acquisition.
I'd agree. I think there's damage that's been done.
Yeah.
And in any good relationship, there's repair of relationships that happens.
Repair is possible.
And I think some of that's happening. And everything, and it's always a work in progress and everything. I think a piece of it is even in what we saw yesterday in the keynote and the languaging around the data fam, the community, doesn't feel like there's a way for me it can trigger, like it feels like a marketing spin.
It's less forced.
And there is that, but it's also less forced.
Yeah. It's less superficial and fake, which it was very palpably superficial and fake over the previous years. And now I agree it's less so, but nevertheless, that's exactly what I'm describing, where I say I didn't necessarily bite on that hook as being, but it's interesting to observe that Mark is clearly stating the community of being an asset in their chest.
Yeah, and I can say from conversations I've had with different product managers and leaders at Tableau, like that appreciation for what people bring to the tool in the work they do. And just one thing, you look at there's all the people who are in the acknowledged programs, like visionaries, ambassadors, and so on. But then there's all the people who blog and do videos and that huge community of us out there that love what we can do with the tool and enables us. And
actually, I don't know that we meant to make this a community conversation in general, but just to take some of the weight off of Salesforce of having kind of ruined it or damaged it with the acquisition, there's another facet of the community kind of damage that's been done recently that I think is not attributable to the Salesforce acquisition at all. And that's just that the wind has been taken out of our sails, this sense of self, like the whole past decade with all of us in the Tableau community has been, I found my people. Right?
Yep.
Right? I found my people. And somehow the AI revolution has just popped that bubble. And what used to be a sense of pride because I had invested so much time and so much energy in order to learn how to do the 7-level nested table calculation in order to get the answer and to write the blog post and to make the fancy viz and to be recognized and rewarded by my peers for having done so. Now a chatbot can do it with just a nothing, and there's just like a sense of like a loss of identity, I think, that's happened that isn't necessarily entirely attributable to the Salesforce acquisition.
I view it a little differently. Like I think there's definitely an uncertainty about that
Yeah.
larger piece
Yep.
of, because that's a recurring question.
Some fear,
And
some
even,
doubt. Yeah.
yeah, even the question right after yours by Colin Smith, who's one of the teachers, coaches at the information lab. Like, what is that role of an analyst in years? And it was fascinating hearing Tableau's leader talk about a dashboard. Like, I actually haven't heard that from Tableau.
Isn't that true?
In years.
Oh my gosh! Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
He actually espoused the future of the dashboard with vigor.
yeah, that a dashboard can, and his little bit, you can watch the clip, but Mark Recker is talking about a sales dashboard that's get used by a huge amount of Salesforce and everything up and down the company, and they're using it as a unifying force within the organization to help everybody understand what needs doing.
This entire multi-billion dollar organization organizes their effective shared reality around this one dashboard in a way that wouldn't be possible if they were all getting a slightly different answer from a chatbot.
Some other things to just reflect on. Quality came up again, software quality of releases. And it seems to be one of those things where there's small steps, but anybody who's hit by a bug in production, or you're trying to go to production and you can't do it, you're stuck. So that seems still like a work in progress. But one of the takeaways was no severity 0 or 1 bugs in Tableau's definition in the last year. So they are working on improving, and there's more they're doing with that and trying to make server releases easier to do. There was a question, and this goes to the part for me in the Devs on Stage, where I'd asked earlier today about not having seen using an agent to build a Tableau dashboard from scratch. Like we had seen that for Next.
That was a hot question
for Tableau. And turns out that was something that just wasn't quite ready yet to put into Devs on Stage. Seth Jones was saying he's got demos on his laptop for it, and we'll be hearing more soon. And one of the pieces that he mentioned that I liked about Tableau's focus was agentic experiences are amazing, but they very often don't get it all the way right. And Tableau really wants a comprehensive or cohesive, this is now my words, authoring experience. So we can be in the AI and get a ton done in the AI,
but then drop back into fingers on the keyboard. When we need to tweak
it where the AI messed up, that we can still do that and have it work well. So I was excited to hear that that's happening.
Yep.
Another piece from things, I think I might have mentioned it yesterday, like there was that command center interface that
you noted that the interface was
looked like it was Next, and Southard was like, no, it's it was actually something built. And this is also really great for this whole like what product piece is this new interface. They're building it as a new thing, which is using cloud, Next, server.
It's neither cloud nor server nor Next. It's going to function across all three of them.
And since it's meant to be an agentic inquiry, kind of like a tool for monitoring agents and everything that they're touching, they know it has to talk with other tools as well. So that part of the integration story. Yep.
For me, a couple of the hot ones was a question around the Informatica acquisition and when and where and how are we going to see that begin to take hold? Like how are those tools going to come into play? The catalog piece is definitely very big. Nicholas Bressois mentioned, there is some overlap between Prep and Informatica in terms of kind of competing for the same space, but not really, because they're actually targeting different personas. And just the ability to publish hyperfiles from Informatica, ideally loaded with much richer metadata, right? Because now when you publish a hyperfile, it doesn't have any XML wrapped around it. It doesn't have any indication of the lineage or from where it came. And so he said they're moving in the direction of being able to kind of publish those hyperfiles from an Informatica workflow and then bring along the metadata and the lineage from which it came.
Yep.
Another one was the question around semantics. And somebody asked, I think I know I need a semantic layer, he said. I know I need a semantic layer, but I think I don't want it in Tableau because it needs to be lower. It needs to be down in my data lakehouse. In that case, it was a Snowflake data lakehouse, data warehouse. And he said, so what are you going to do, Tableau, to enable me to use my semantic layer that I've built in Snowflake in Tableau where I need it? And the answer to that was OSI, which was good.
Yep.
One notable observation was that was the first official oration of the open semantic interchange that I heard from any of the keynotes or any of the stages at all. So it took until true to the core a question to have OSI come out on any of the keynote stages. So that to me was really interesting. But another interesting part of Southard's answer was that one, yes, we're partnering with OSI, founding partners are Snowflake and dbt and Tableau, but also that not all of your data, he said to this fellow, is in Snowflake. And the moment that you want other data that's not in Snowflake, you might want to be going through a virtualization layer like Tableau and the semantic layer that's in Tableau that can bring in this, the semantic details of that other data that's not in Snowflake. And so he was able to articulate the value of actually using a higher level of abstraction for your semantic layer.
Yeah, there was kind of related to that because like the Tableau semantic model is in Tableau Next now. There were some questions around Next. And one of the pieces there that stuck out with me was just being clear that Tableau Next is a separate tool from server and cloud. Like Next is entirely built on the Salesforce platform, server and cloud were not. They certainly are leveraging, or cloud is leveraging chunks of the Salesforce platform.
Right, so built from the ground up on the Salesforce platform, which is completely distinct.
Yeah, but there will be more that is crossing between them. And also, one piece that stuck out for me is there's a new analytics flex model for supporting moving licenses across products. So customers can go from CRMA to Next or cloud and server,
even data cloud,
as they need to, and move them around. And that they're thinking about continuing to examine the pricing model.
Licensing was a big topic, right? So true to the core, the whole idea is to ask difficult questions, and licensing is the friction of the moment, let's say. Even various customers that we've spoken to here have expressed frustration about 9% year-over-year price increases, right? And if you just play that forward, you got to get off. Like you can't persist running an infrastructure like that. And so even if we squeeze out the users that have creator licenses that aren't creating, all we're doing is treading water because we've managed to get the license to stay where the licensing cost to stay where it's at instead of increasing, but next year it's going to increase again. So this flexible licensing model is really interesting because it gives the customer the ability to bundle licenses from CRMA, from Tableau, Tableau Next, Data Cloud, and then pass seats back and forth between the products flexibly as they need it. So that's really creative.
So to wrap up, I think I want to, because we started with Tableau as a visualization tool, and there's ways it has felt long in the tooth.
As a visualization tool?
As a visualization tool and everything. And statement from Tableau's new general manager that he wants Tableau to be the best tool for visualization. Like there's a
future to the dashboard.
Not only a future to the dashboard, but the other kinds of charts, graphs, or what may come in the future for visualization. And to have that, it's a different languaging than we've heard in the last several years. So
Right, and I can connect that dot back also to devs on stage with the radial layout is one of the things that they're experimenting with. So so definitely not abandoning visualization in any way.
Yeah, totally. All right.
Okay, good one.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, y'all.
Bye.
It's time for action.
It's time for